Order. Order. Fletcher Tabutai.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is actually that member who needs to apologise to the Chinese. It is that member who needs to apologise specifically to the Chinese Premier himself, the man who came to New Zealand and looked John Key in the eye and said, "You have to help us." What was he asking for help for? The corruption, the money laundering, the tax evasion, Mr. Nick Smith. That's what you need to apologise for, because your Prime Minister and your party are not doing a thing about it, and it is completely, absolutely unacceptable. Mr. Speaker, we are a small country. We are a proud country that punches above its weight in the rest of the world. And it is our integrity and our professionalism and the dignity with which we conduct our overseas transactions and trade deals, for example. And when we go out and we support peacekeeping efforts, we are New Zealanders supporting the rest of the world, standing up with them. So how can the Prime Minister stand up and use the same tune as Sergeant Schultz and tell the world, "I know nothing, I know nothing"? He denies and he disclaims knowledge. It is unacceptable, sir. And in Schultz, it was endearing, it was cute. In a Prime Minister of New Zealand, it is abhorrent and it is absolutely unacceptable. What we have been seeing lately, Mr. Speaker, is a Prime Minister under pressure. And when a man's put under pressure, you start to see his true colours. So what we saw today, for example, was the nature of the man come to the surface. And so what have we seen? What we've actually seen is the history of the Prime Minister come to the fore. A money trader, a player of the international markets who held, well, I'm not going to say that in the House, even in the House, but the man was playing games with ethics, and we have to question where his stand is now. The reality is, sir, what was once endearing for the New Zealand public, who saw a self-made man making millions of dollars in this money market, now we see that actually it's unacceptable, and the man is basically selling the country down the river. He is, sir, a man whose instinct it is to defend the 1%. The 1% who use phantom corporations, shell companies and zombie directors. He talks about a database, a list, but this party, New Zealand First, has shown National real cases of real convicted people and companies who are on this list, who are evading their tax obligations offshore, and they are, sir, using New Zealand as a tax haven. The Prime Minister, listen to him in his interviews. He speaks vehemently in denial and opposition to this country being a tax haven. Listen as he's pressed on detail and go, "Oh, hold on, no, you can't ask me that. I don't know, I'm not a tax expert." That's his go-to answer. So as a layman, it seems ironic and distressing that he would stand up against the world tax experts who actually use expert knowledge and fact to decry the very real reality that New Zealand is being used as a tax haven.
That's right.
Experts who use fact against a layman Prime Minister who decries, "You can't ask me that, I'm not a tax expert." This is a farce, and New Zealand First simply says to the Prime Minister, act. Act now. It's not acceptable. You cannot just sit there and sit back and watch this happen. New Zealanders are seeing that our reputation is being sullied in the world, and they are not comfortable with this. This government needs to fix up these tax evasion problems so that the 1%, the money launderers, the gun runners cannot hide their money here in New Zealand. It is unacceptable, sir, and it must stop right now. Thank you.
The Honourable